Welcome to a wonderfully cold day here in August. Beginning of August, but it feels like fall nonetheless. But that does not deter me from starting seeds. Today's video, we're going to look at what seeds you can start if you garden in a cold climate such as a zone 3, somewhere that gets snow in October sometimes, just in general, somewhere wonderfully miserable. Now, here's the crazy part. Actually, planting in August is incredibly beneficial. You have a number of different things on your side, even if you are in a cold climate, like here in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. For example, you have soil that's already pre-warmed. I've taught you guys multiple times how important soil temp is to germinating of seeds. And this kind of checks that box because it's been warming all summer long. You also have the fact that a lot of pests are kind of ran out, if you will. They've run out of their kind of allotted time frame for living, and therefore you have less pest pressure. Things like disease also may have run their course depending on what disease we're speaking to, and you get the idea. Then the nice part also here is that if you spend $20 on a low tunnel on Amazon, very inexpensive, possibly single use, but still gets the job done. You can extend your growing season based on the temperatures that you're experiencing. Now, the number one thing that you want to look at, now I can just list off a bunch of plants you can plant in August, but I am going to do that plus give you the tools you need to be able to determine what you can grow in your area. So what I want you to do is type in days to first frost in name the city, name the town. Don't put in the zone because zones have a number of different first frost dates depending on where you are. So the first frost date here in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan is September 12th, which gives me approximately 40 days of growing time where I don't need row cover. So that's the key there. Because if you have a frost, say September 12th, which I do think it'll be later this year, similar to how we had a later frost last year. But if I did have one exactly on the 12th, that just simply means I would have to cover them. And coverage will extend that 40 days even farther. So if I only need to extend that frost cover for 15 days, say I want something that has 55 days to harvest on the packaging, then that is very easily doable. If I'm looking at something that takes 80 days to mature, we're talking about me having to cover and keep the plant alive and healthy for 40 days under frost cover. That's a little bit more difficult. So something you can do very easily is look at the seed packages that you are looking to plant. What you want to look for is days to harvest. You want this to be within 15 days or 15 days after your first frost date. That is on the conservative side. That is on the easy side. You can push these boundaries farther if you believe you can do it with frost cover and that sort of thing. Now, what is it too late for? Let's get those off the list here right now. Things that are too late are very obviously tomatoes, peppers, watermelons, eggplants, long season corns, that sort of thing. Unless, of course, you have some sort of greenhouse setup that you can heat and also light, because your number of hours of light per day are beginning to decrease. And eventually they're going to get so low that it's not going to allow for proper growth or proper flowering. So you are going to need some sort of supplemental lighting if that is the route you're about to take. Okay, so if we know that we can look at days to harvest being around that 40 to 50 days and that being something comfortable for us to take on, let's next look at what we can be able to achieve with different types of row covers. And I will go into more depth on this later on in the season, but just to give you an idea of what you can start now in hopes of going onwards, let's look at the temperature increase that we can get out of a row cover compared to the frost tolerance of different sorts of seeds and kind of where we can hit range-wise. So a light row cover can increase your nighttime temps between 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. What we care about most definitely is going to be those nighttime temps. Daytime temps, I wouldn't be shocked if you actually have to remove or tuck up or allow for some sort of ventilation in your tunneling system because of that light causing a big kind of heat up during the day that can actually harm your plants, cause them to bolt, that sort of thing. A heavy frost blanket can actually increase your nighttime temps from 4 to 7 degrees at night. A low poly plastic tunnel, so the really thick poly you can buy, can increase it anywhere from 3 to 8 degrees Celsius. And if you combine the plastic poly tunnel with a heavy frost cloth, you can actually keep that tunnel area 12 degrees Celsius warmer than the outside temperature at night. Now, this is where things get a little bit crazy when it comes to seeds and their tolerances. Things that can survive -3 degrees Celsius to somewhere around -5 degrees Celsius can include things like lettuce, Swiss chard, carrots, beets, radishes, bok choy, and cilantro. This means, technically speaking, if you were to go to the absolute extreme of a polytunnel combined with a heavy frost cloth, your nighttime temperatures could be somewhere around -10, -15 degrees Celsius, and your plants would be okay. Now, it does not mean you can sow these seeds at those temperatures. The reason being is the amount of light. If you are not going to supplementally light these low tunnel areas that you're covering with these heavy duty pieces of frost cloth, etc., and so forth, then it is not in your best interest to go. And it is most definitely not in your best interest. So one thing to know here is you can't start these seeds in the frost cloth at these temperatures. The reason being is that there is not enough light. So if you're not going to supplement lighting, which would be a very normal thing not to do, by the way, but if you're not going to run lights through your low tunnel, there isn't enough daytime light where we are to be able to get proper growth. So you're going to get leggy growth. You're going to get kind of odd looking growth. Not necessarily something that's worth your while, if you will, which is why you want to plant them now and then ultimately use your outdoor garden almost as like a pseudo storage area for those deeper temperatures. Because if you can keep things crispy and then not turn to mush at those temperatures, but also not having your fridge turning to mush, that's kind of what the point is when it comes to doing this in a cooler climate. Now, if you want to look like a total crazy person and go to real extremes, things like spinach and kale can survive serious temperature drops. Spinach and kale are known to go anywhere from -10 to -15 degrees Celsius and be just fine, which is insane. So what this means is that a spinach or a kale under that really extreme end of being able to keep things okay till -12, -15 degrees Celsius can go well into the depths of winter in a storage sense. Again, keeping the growth that does show up is going to be incredibly leggy and overgrown due to just the nature of the amount of light we have. If you're putting supplemental lighting in there, then the sky is truly the limit if you like lots of spinach and kale in your diet. Now, this list does not include the things that you should be planting in the fall for the spring. So if you want to know more about what that could include, hit that subscribe button because I will be posting a video on things you should be planting in the fall, such as, the obvious ones, garlic, but how some of the less obvious ones like peas or radishes, spinach, all of which can overwinter and be really great signs for when your soil is ready to go, when things are ready to transplant, etc., and so forth. Now, with all of that being said, your best bet is to start these things in seed cells. Can you direct sow them? Of course you can. I personally prefer sowing them inside of cells because I can mitigate against terrible temperatures in my zone, such as today, where I can just simply pop the dome top on to make sure that these plants don't get too cold and my seeds germinate instead of rot. Because if this temperature existed for days on end, there's a possibility my seeds would rot instead of germinate, which is not what we want. Anyways, Geek Crew, I hope you guys have a wonderfully, hopefully not chilly August. And this is what Google says you should watch next. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.